Hey, this is Just Drew, he's Just Drew, with Music Skeptic. So this week, I had chosen to review Ariana Grande's Sweetener. When I first heard about this album, I was I was nonchalant about it because I was never really into Ariana Grande stuff before. Mainly because her albums didn't really feel like albums. They felt kind of like they were trying to be what Thriller was for Michael Jackson. So, let's get into it track by track. Raindrops. It felt like it was trying to be Disney, and it just kind of failed horribly. It's like a song about like relating tears to raindrops. It's kind of, and it's really short. It's like, I think under a minute. It's like 30-something seconds. I get it's just an intro, but I come to, again, expect more from my intros in the age after Logic. No matter genre you're in, seeing as Logic sold more his first week than Katy Perry. Not really much else you can say about that. Blaze with Pharrell. This track, I feel like had a lot of hype for me, mainly because it was spoken so fondly of by Anthony Fantana. But then again, this song is also proof that I don't always agree with Anthony Fantana. It's really kind of annoying because the song is meant to sound a little off, but it's kind of annoying. There's not much of a beat switch up in the parts of the song. It's kind of the same since the beginning. And that annoying drum is playing since the very beginning, so it kind of just pulses on your ears. There's a lot of low end, like bursting low end on this album. And it's really warm, it's really inviting. I really would like to learn how to mix that into some of my music. But it also kind of creates this varying tone that makes it kind of hard to understand what she's saying in certain songs, like this one, where there's a constant, really booming drum on it in the middle. The Light Is Coming. This song was boss. This song was like, you know, a lot of people want to be blindly positive, but they're blindly positive in a way that's just so blinding to everyone. It's obvious that they're trying to hide some kind of trauma. It's not what's happening here. It's like exact positive. It's just fun. It's a fun song, but I also feel like it's trying, like you could play it during like a ride or something, because it's like basically just the hook. Like it's a really tightly knit, well-flowed, respectable verse from Nicki Minaj. I'm talking, this is like early days Nicki in this song. She brought it, and I don't know where it came from all of a sudden. Where's she been? What was she doing stupid up? Then it goes right into Ariana going, the light is coming, I give back everything the darkness stole. Kind of like this Fuji's kind of smoothness to how she's saying it. This was a real highlight in the album for me. The production really came through, especially the mix on this thing. It really made it sound really very big, like you're in an ocean. R.E.M. This is kind of like it's kind of like a mixed bag, sad song, happy song. It's one of the better songs on the album. I'm not gonna discount it on that. I feel like it's more driven towards women, so I'm not gonna try to discount it at all. But it felt like very emotionless, but more in the way like emotionless like Khaleesi when some shit really goes bad on Game of Thrones. The next track in the album is God Is a Woman. And I'm not gonna lie, this one hit me right there. Let's just put it this way. This song is so good, I liked it as an atheist. The song isn't about how God is a woman, literally a woman. The song is about how I will make you, about how Ariana is going to make you believe God is a woman when she touches you. But other than that, that was a really solid track. The lyrics make up for all that though, in my opinion. I would still listen to the song again, so I can't fault it. But like I said, it's kind of haunted by this low-end rise because I feel like the compressors picked up on that and kind of compressed most of the low-end sound and just gave you like the punch and the hit of the low end. You don't really hear much. It's like, but the decay and the sustain feel really low on certain tracks. Like this. It's not on all of them. There are some very like warm tracks. The next track is the title track, Sweetener. It shouldn't have been the title track. There are so many better songs on this album. Why did this have to be the title track? Just because it looked cute on the album cover? Because it's my decision. I imagine Ariana saying. The beat is beat is pretty corny. It's one of those beats that goes up to the very next scale of the same type of like if it's in B major, I don't know what it's in, but I can tell that if it's in B major, it went immediately up to C major and then up to D major right after each other. So and it's really annoying when you hit that key switch just to try to make it sound interesting. Especially when it's done constantly with the beat. If you do it like once or twice throughout the song, it's cool, right? But that's the main like loop, because that beat, it starts kind of soft and then it goes into it. But once it hits, it's kind of just like there. The context of the song, it's not really. It's kind of a groovy tune. It's not really the most catchy song in the bunch either, which is why I'm really kind of let down. This was the title track. And the next track is Successful. This track is kind of a weird play. I can't tell if she's talking about being successful in a relationship or successful in life at certain points. I think it's probably both, right? The beat is very kind of this throwback 80s trip hop kind of shit. Sounds like it's kind of like got some kind of banjo sample that was really crunched down and or rearranged. She does a good job. She is very catchy as far as the hooks, as far as like some of the other elements to the song. Next track is Every Time. This is a very I feel a dark song for Ariana. This is like the song where she notices the pattern she's going through. You can tell like when it comes on, the beat is dark. It sounds like something that should have been on Drake's Scorpion.
You slipping up, Drake?
Yeah, Drake, when you getting served by Ariana, come on, man. You actually got to pass her the ball on this one. This song really did go dark. The song talks about somebody who she knows is manipulating her, and she goes right back to, like saying, I get angry, you embarrass me, I get angry, I get drunk, and then I come back to you every time. And it also shows the growth that she understands she's making this decision, and she fears that she won't be able to correct it the next time she gets an urge. I feel like most of us can relate to this because we want to belong to something so bad, but it's kind of just like humans are fucking flawed. And next song is Breathing. Again, another song that is not capitalized in the title.
You annoying me, Ariana.
It sounds like it's trying to rip off Drake, Just Hold On, We're Going Home, but it doesn't have enough energy to push it through. The beat isn't nearly loud enough, and it doesn't sound very clear enough or vibrant enough to compete with Just Hold On, We're Going Home. There was a whole lot of air in that beat that just allowed you to feel like you were in the mix. This doesn't really comprise of that. It feels very tight. A lot of strange, but still workable and still very orthodox vocal harmonies. In the norm for this one, it would have worked better. Next song is No Tears to Cry. Kind of felt like I should have liked the song. I did not. The song sounded so over dramatic. It sounded like something Madonna would do. Almost kind of it makes me angry when I hear it, because it sounds like a song that belongs in a Final Fantasy game or even Kingdom Hearts. That's how cheesy, over the top, and dramatic it sounds. In those games, it worked because those games felt like life or death. This really doesn't with this song. And I can't picture this going into a movie where it doesn't just take me out of it a little bit, unless it's a comedy, or at least it has a comedy element when this song is on. The next song is Borderline. This is a very tightly mixed, very loud, kind of airy, but with a whole lot of punch song. Especially in the beginning where it starts to cut. Bing, bing, bing. And it was it's kind of a dope track, but I don't like the premise. It's basically like, I'm going crazy for you, meet me at the borderline. It's two people who I guess want to be together, or she wants to be with him, and she's trying to get him to meet her halfway. It's not a situation I'm familiar with as a side from a guy. But I'm pretty sure girls go through it. They just go through it with guys that they're way out of their league. Better Off is a song about a guy who she's hanging around who doesn't do anything. And he's got no motivation. And she presents him with opportunities, or he has opportunities of his own, but he doesn't take them. He doesn't care about them. And he'd rather just sit around and smoke. And she loves just sitting and watching him smoke and drink. and she doesn't know why she likes this because it's not productive. I'm pretty sure, like, if she wrote, like, Ariana wrote this or chose this, I'm pretty sure it's for the reason of she can relate. She's at a point in her life where she probably doesn't care much about money, and she's hanging around other people who don't care much about money because they don't have it in an environment where they all have it, so it's just like a playground for them. I mean, they don't probably have responsibilities, but not really. If they packed up today, they had enough that they could go to another country and no one would hear from them for years. So with that in mind, hanging around this person who doesn't have any motivation can be toxic, because what's your motivation? It's not to survive, it's just to be the best or be better. And like, this person's really getting in the way of that because they're big distractions, so you need to cut them off loose. And I kind of like the song. It represents a strength that I don't see in many women around me, and I'd like to see more of. But I see in some. I'm not gonna say I don't see it in. Say Goodnight and Go. I'm not sure what the context of this song is. I'm not sure if in this song she has a boyfriend and she's just hanging out with a guy who's a friend, or in this song she has or she's single in the song. She doesn't really make that clear in my opinion, but she's basically telling a guy that she's staring in the moment, and she's staring him in the eyes saying, just say goodnight and go. Or she's thinking in her head, just say goodnight and go, just say goodnight and go. It's kind of weird. It feels like kind of annoying because it's like, what? Yeah. Pete Davidson. Didn't like the song. I can understand wanting to do vocal harmonies. I can understand how Ariana has a good, I think it was a good idea, seeing how Ariana is an amazing singer, especially in today's generation where everyone's using a lot of autotune. Not gonna lie. Hey, compare Ariana Granda to any of her contemporaries. Who does she sound like? No one, because her voice is so fucking applicable. It's like she was born for that shit. Like, it's to the point where it's just amazing that she's also pretty looking. So it just doesn't work. The vocal harmonies, there are all these interchanging harmonies. None of them really start at the same place, except for unless they're like harmonies that consist of like 2 octaves. So it kind of just comes off really pressured. It feels like a little cheap. Like they could have added a little more width to the harmonics. And last one is Get Well Soon. This track just sounds like something I expect from Demi Lovato. It's like this like really warm piano, bum, 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 and it's like this track I feel like you shouldn't have ended on. It wasn't really a good close. I can see why. I can see from an album standpoint why you ended here. I can see it was kind of like that like you were trying to make it seem a little bit, but now the song isn't strong enough. It's it has an elevation, it has a boost, but it doesn't have any of that really harsh bit, like kind of really well compressed, like filling bass that you've heard for like the past couple of songs or any of. It's just and it also doesn't have this kind of warm, classic, sleek feel to it. It feels like it's not trying to be 60s, but it's just very acoustic. And it's very poppy, like 20. It's like the rhythm, and even when it elevates, it just kind of just like, I'm passing by. I'm gonna say it's about a light 4, or late 3 stars out of 5, mainly because the production was top notch on a lot of these tracks. I've heard amazing bass that I have not heard on a pop track in years. Ariana Granda has outdone everybody who's come out this summer, and everybody who came out last summer too. It's weird when it comes to production. And singing. It's honest singing. It's very. I don't know. I'm wondering if she was in the studio and the people were like, "Do I have an auto tune this?" Because it is customary that you auto tune just a little to make sure they're all the way on. But the only time I hear auto tune is when it's an effect. And then it really squanders her. I feel like I wish you would just sing without the auto-tune. I don't really need you with that effect. It feels like you're trying to compete with Beyonce. And when Ariana tries to compete with Beyonce, I don't like Beyonce, yet Beyonce still wins. It's annoying, and I don't like that. So, what are some of this album? There were a lot of experiments I didn't like on this album, such as some of the beats made a constant key change that was really annoying, kind of took me out of the listening experience because it was trying so hard to be experimental and new and edgy, and it just made it feel fuzzy. Like I walked up to this album, it would like have a fuzzy exterior, but it would be creepy and I wouldn't want to touch it too deeply, you know? That's kind of how it made me feel, kind of like, it doesn't really make me feel like I'm that close to Ariana Grande, but it does make me feel closer to her perspective. So yeah, light 4, closer to a 3.5 stars. So have you heard this album? Do you like my review? Do you like this album? Are you angry? You want to argue? Leave a comment below. If you do, hit me up. Maybe we'll collab or just talk. Scare skeptic, music skeptic, just true. Peace.